Have more breaking news after a day of long protests in honor of Michael Ramos and George Floyd. Governor Greg Abbott has activated the Texas National Guard in response to violence throughout Texas. The governor says Texans have every right to exercise their First Amendment rights, but violence and looting will not be tolerated. Capital Metro has decided to detour all buses away from downtown Austin, and that includes routes 2, 4, and 6. Protesters started this day gathering in front of the police department headquarters downtown. As the day went on, they marched through downtown, ending up at the state capitol, but eventually returning to APD headquarters. KXAN's Caitlin Carmoot has been following demonstrations tonight, and she joins us live downtown with more. Caitlin?
Yeah, that's right, Robert. Right now, we're seeing Austin police officers as well as those protesters stay confined to outside APD headquarters. But like you just mentioned, this has been an ever-changing situation all day long. We're hearing from some protesters still advocating for that peaceful conversation. But for others, that hasn't been the case. An hour ago, Austin police officers did have to come underneath the I-35 bridge to break up a situation. And here's a listen to those powerful sounds. Again, this is a much smaller crowd that was here earlier today. A lot of them staying confined to APD headquarters. Officers have had to pull out their mace as well as their beanbag shots here today. I talked to a few protesters who had just gotten maced, and that's the reason why they decided to call it a day. But they say that their movement here is not over. They plan to do it all again tomorrow.
It's the price you pay when you're fighting for something that is being denied.
Two-day push is a long time coming. It's been many years in the making, ever since Black Lives Matter started.
Even before that, like so many signs here today say, it's not a moment, it's a movement.
And I plan to stay out here and monitor these protests outside APD headquarters and bring you those updates as I have them. But for now, Robert, we'll throw that back to you.
Caitlin, thanks. The protest today shut down Interstate 35 in both directions. Demonstrators who started near the police headquarters made their way onto the main lanes, blocking traffic today. People on their apartment balconies on the east side of the interstate looked on during the protest. Things had not escalated at that point. However, the first arrest we did see was when there was a little pushing between a woman and a DPS trooper. That is when some kind of liquid was thrown towards the trooper. The woman was quickly taken to the ground and placed in custody. We also saw eggs being thrown at police officers and onto the interstate. One of those eggs seemed to have hit Austin police officer. The protest also moved to the south side of the state capitol. Our crews were there and saw at least 2 protesters led away by the troopers. One person pulled from the crowd appeared to be resisting the troopers and even kicking at them while being led away. More DPS troopers made their way towards the crowd, and eventually the wall of law enforcement officers moved forward to get them off and out of the Capitol grounds. Austin Travis County EMS telling us one person was taken to the hospital during the protest in Austin. Medics were called out just before 7 o'clock to an area near the APD headquarters. The patient suffered serious injuries that are not expected to be life-threatening. EMS crews say they are responding to 13 protest-related incidents in the downtown area so far. 9 protesters were arrested overnight at APD headquarters. Their charges include inciting a riot, throwing objects, and harassment of a public servant. Demonstrators held signs and chanted things like, "I can't breathe" and "Stop killing us." Police could be seen in riot gear as they worked to control this crowd. At one point, some of the protesters began throwing water bottles at officers. KXAN's Alex Capriello is live downtown, and he has found a safe place overlooking the interstate and APD headquarters. Alex, what do you see here at 9 o'clock?
Yeah, we found a safe side road to give us that sort of bird's eye view over APD headquarters and some of the protesters. As you can see, still several hundred that are down there, and more keep filtering in. You can see them walking towards that I-35 underpass. They're bringing things like water bottles, first aid kits, and even things like milk. That's what they've been pouring over the eyes of people who have been maced. Now, when I got here on scene, I reached out to several of our city council members. I wanted to see how they feel about the things that are happening here today at APD. None of them were available to speak on camera, but a handful of these elected leaders actually shared a statement with me. People like Travis County Commissioner Jeffrey Trevelyan and City Council member Natasha Harper-Madison. Basically, their statement says that they are empathizing with these demonstrators who feel racially oppressed, and they are working towards solutions that they can start implementing here in Austin and Central Texas. I also spoke to Chaz Moore with the Austin Justice Coalition. He said that Austinites have been working towards finding a compromise, but haven't seen any results, and that's why we're seeing their frustrations boil over today.
People have tried to be peaceful. People have tried to, legislate solutions. People have tried to advocate solutions. People have tried to, silent protest solutions. What's going to give, right? Like what's going to happen for us to actually see and respect the value in Black humans in this country?
Now, our KXAN team coverage isn't going anywhere. We're going to be sticking around to keep an eye on these protests, and we'll be reporting for you folks tonight for KXAN News at 10. If you don't have our newscasts on TV, of course, make sure you're following us on social media. We're going to be constantly updating that with live updates. Back to you.
Alex, thanks. This afternoon, I spoke with Austin Mayor Steve Adler to get his input on today's protest.
I am concerned about some of the other folks that don't seem to be as much interested in being able to convey a message and make a point, and more, seemingly interested in having a confrontation. And my hope is that they don't win the day.
We also had the chance this afternoon to ask the mayor about the Travis County District Attorney's Office's decision to bring the Michael Ramos case to a Travis County grand jury. He says he's happy to see this case moving forward, and that it's very important that our peers in the community have the opportunity to see the evidence, see all the evidence. Mike Ramos was killed when officers responded to a drug-related call last month in southeast Austin. That call was about a man waving a gun and a couple doing drugs inside of a car. APD says that Ramos did not comply with officer commands, and he tried to drive off before he was shot and killed. Chief Manley later confirmed that investigators did not find a gun inside his car. In Los Angeles, police cars were set on fire during the fourth day of protests there. This was in Los Angeles's Fairfax district just a few moments ago. A police SUV was set on fire, sending plumes of black smoke over the area. Other police vehicles were covered with messages written in spray paint. At least 2 cars had windows smashed out. A few blocks from here, a police car was also set on fire. The mayor of Los Angeles announcing a curfew for downtown LA starting at 8 o'clock Pacific time. Mayor of Seattle has imposed a 5 o'clock curfew after protesters set fire to multiple cars during this demonstration today. The demonstration started out as peaceful but escalated as several vehicles were set on fire. Police used pepper spray to disperse the crowd, and firefighters took down those flames. Well, David's here to take a look at some rain that may be returning soon.
Yeah, and the break from the rainy weather last week was brief today, wasn't it? We had a beautiful sunny Saturday to enjoy, but now things are going to be changing here and more quickly than anticipated overnight tonight. Mostly clear skies here, enjoying the last of a beautiful sunset up in Round Rock. Whittlesey Landscape Supply weather cam, one of several they have with us, always live on KXAN.com. Temperatures actually hit 89 in the city of Austin earlier today, now cooling to 80, upper 70s in the surrounding suburbs. Georgetown 78 as we speak. Now all of a sudden, after a sunny, beautiful, low humidity day today, tonight the clouds thicken up, and tomorrow this storm system, a little stronger than expected over northern Mexico, it's nudging up here and a likelihood of rain returns. We'll talk about how much falls and for how long coming up in just a bit.
David, thanks. We're going to back live to Alex Capriello with some new activity downtown.
Yeah, as soon as I wrapped up that last live report, I started hearing shots ring out. We're going to take you right down there. It is still likely going to be non-lethal shots. We've been seeing the APD and other law enforcement use these sort of tactics whenever the crowd gets a little bit unruly. Basically, earlier today I saw demonstrators approach the officers, and what they do is they either fire some sort of non-lethal rounds, either pepper spray, mace, or rubber bullets, but it does send people scattering. And so now, just within the last 3 or 4 minutes, I've heard at least over a dozen shots come down. I do have this bird's eye view, so I could see lots of people sort of disperse and scatter, but as soon as the shots stop, they kind of reapproach. I am still a little bit too far away to see exactly what was happening that led up to this, but based on what I was seeing earlier today, this was an approach and a tactic that law enforcement use whenever the crowd gets a little too rowdy, whenever they get a little too close to the police officers, to the DPS troopers, and to anyone that is trying to maintain the law and order. It's quieted down a little bit now, but we're going to be keeping an eye on that action throughout the night. We'll be reporting it back to you. Okay, Robert.
A volatile situation. Alex, thanks. We'll be right back.